welcome to another episode of Alpha Intuition Podcast. We're going to help you guys crack that crazy girl code. I'm your host, Keisha L. Blair, and joining me as always is a beautiful, insightful mind wellness coach, Eston Sharbro. And you guys, I want to welcome back our returning guests with the big alpha male energy, Jerry Yarbrough. What's up, Jerry and Essence? How y'all doing today?
What's going on? What's going on? I'm
Hey,
glad to be back. Glad to have Jerry back. Hey.
All right.
glad to be back.
All right, cool,
Thank you.
cool, cool. So, hey, we get ready to jump into this topic. I think we talked about a couple episodes ago. Jerry, I know you mentioned something about the alpha, the beta, and the sigma, and then the zetas, whatever many of them it is. But we're gonna talk about some alpha males today, or we're gonna talk about some male energy today, right? So we're gonna talk about alpha males, beta males, and sigma males, and then we're just gonna tell you about which ones we prefer as women. So, how about that? Y'all ready to jump right into it?
Oh
Let's
yeah,
do it.
most definitely.
All right. So the first one we're gonna talk about, of course, this is alpha intuition. We're gonna talk about alpha males, and we already know that alpha males they're usually leaders by nature, right? They're assertive, confident, take charge. Professionals. They are leaders, and that's kind of men I like. But Jerry, why don't you enlighten us on some of the other attributes of alpha males?
From
I
your male
mean,
perspective.
I think there's a lot of,
You can't give it from the
yeah, I think
female
there's a lot of,
perspective. I'm sorry. Go
I,
ahead.
I think there's a lot of stereotypes mixed in. Can you
Mm,
guys hear me okay?
we can hear you. Okay. So stereotypes like what?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
So that like the alpha male is the strongest, and he's not the strongest. He may be the most boisterous. He may be the most attention getting, and I kind of, how do I put this? There's a big, there's a, I'm trying to really, I'm sorry.
No, no, no. You good.
When I think
So,
about in a corporate environment, because
yeah.
environments are important, right? So you have the club, the corporate environment, and in his personal life, in his relationship. So as far as I'm concerned, in a corporate environment, the alpha male is yes, definitely assertive, definitely dominant, um, but you can't do it alone. You have to establish a team. So if that alpha male does not know how to pick the right individuals to be around him, he'll fail because that assertiveness, dominance, etc., will not be able, I should say, won't help you if you can't pick the right people to be around you. So that's in a corporate environment.
Yeah.
In a relationship, the alpha male, I'd almost have to wonder, is it that he's really an alpha male or is it that his woman kind of sees him as such, right? Because over time, as the years go by, you may start to see that, oh, he's not what I thought he was. I thought he was that guy because he was the most boisterous at the party or in the club, and he seemed to command the respect of his friends, etc. So that's the other environment within the relationship. Because in all honesty, I think women feel that they want that out the gate, but once you get into it, once you're in the relationship, I think that woman is gonna vie for her position and
Mm.
perhaps take control when the guy doesn't know how to deal with that,
What do
and
you
it,
mean?
it leads to
Deal with
bumping heads.
deal with what? A woman that is more assertive than what an alpha male is typically used to.
No, I think I think what I'm getting at is that over time, that woman who was, oh, he's so strong, he's so this, he's so that. Over time, her true nature is going to evolve as well. And, for different people, that's going to take different periods of time. So if that alpha male is what we would look at as a meathead, you know, they're gonna have serious problems. I don't know how else to put it, you know. So, but I think a meathead is a good way to describe the negative aspects of an alpha male.
Mm. So let me ask you this question:
But
what type of women do you think alpha males usually tend to go for?
Good question.
that is a good question.
Let me give you a multiple choice.
Assertive? No, I got you. I think that alpha male, and like I said, I don't think I'm truly that. I'm truly a sigma male. I think that's what, like I said before, I've grown into that.
Mm.
Alpha male, what he would want in a woman, I think I'm not that guy anymore, but I would think would be a woman that is assertive, yes, with others. With others. Do I want you to be that assertive with me? No, no. Um, uh, Agreeableness is a huge thing, but it depends on, do you have a healthy alpha male or do you have an unhealthy alpha male? You know, and we all in our personal walks go through shifts in different
Mhm.
environments. I think that's important to note as well. So someone may argue, no, if you're an alpha male in one situation, you're an alpha male in all situations. Yeah, I mean, I would say okay to that, but what if the guy that has more, he's bigger, he's whatever, steps into the party and he's drawing all the attention? Like, like the competition is
Mm.
is still there, but do you break yourself to buy more bottles to get more girls at the table? Excuse me, you know, not trying to be offensive, but it
Yeah,
is what it is,
yeah. So
right?
you're saying that there can only be one alpha male in a situation or in an environment. You can't have more than one.
I believe a real man recognizes his position.
Mm.
I believe an immature man wants to force it. This leads to negative things occurring through the course of the evening.
Well, I'm gonna tell you that I've been in a lot of situations where I've noticed where I'd be like, it's too much male bonding going on here for me because you can see you can feel the competition and see it in the room. So it's like, you know, and I don't know if it's that animal instinct to where, like, you know, you have those guys who are thriving for that or trying to strive for that number one spot in whatever environment they're in. Is that something that's just embedded in the male nature?
I don't think so. If
Mm.
I give my honest, I don't think so. I really think a mature man. I have to focus on maturity because a mature man is going to recognize what's occurring and take no part of it, or recognize, you know what, let me go ahead and mash the gas on this situation.
Mm.
Aware of the outcome, not with ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
So the situations that you may have seen, you know, I can't speak to those. I wasn't there, but I really believe that as you take your as you kind of take your lumps, you kind of learn. Let me let me kick back on this one, and this is
So
what I meant. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think that going on with what you said, just about how some men will either decide to mash on the gas or to fall back. I think
Mhm.
that depends on whether or not there's a woman that they're interested in that situation. Because if there's a woman that's in play, and no man, especially if he's an alpha male inside, is going to sit there and want to look like he's less than if there's a woman in a situation that he's possibly attracted to. And is that true or false?
That's a different environment from what I had in my mind's eye.
Mm.
Okay, so
Because
when we
mashing
bring
on the
women
gas
into,
is, well, just thinking about just a general situation where you just got two guys yeah, you just gonna fall back. You just gonna be cool. But when you add a woman to the mix, it's almost like you ain't trying to look bad in front of that woman. So that's when that testosterone, that male, like I say, that male energy comes out, and it's like they start acting just a little bit different just because you put a third person, or if they're in, like you say, the club environment, right? You're gonna act a little bit different than what you act, and if it's just like y'all on the court playing basketball.
I have definitely noticed that difference. I will say this. I remember it was a guy I started dating and I met him in the club and literally he just made himself he made everybody else look foolish, right? And he was definitely making a play. He was bringing all eyes onto himself. He was definitely making a play to get with the ladies and then he made it to where he could just set his little pick of who he wanted for the night, like period. And I remember I looked at that, and I mean, it was a bunch of, it was a big old crock of mess to me. But I sit back because he still ended up landing me. And I just observed all his alpha male energy. He literally made people feel like this big, okay? So then turn right around at the end of the evening, I'm like, I don't have no time for that foolishness. You just like to make people da 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 da. He was just like, no, I just wanted to see who would fall for that and who wouldn't. Like he all the way to the end, he was just in this aggressive alpha leading, just having to, shine. And so that as a woman, we see that stuff. We can definitely see what's going on. And I've also seen it in smaller circles of my male friends when a woman would enter and everybody's like, hey, she can I get with it? And they're each trying to make their move until one guy she connects with, and then they all pull back. I have definitely seen it in both the club environment and then just in friendship circles when a new woman enters into the space. So it is quite interesting, just from a woman's perspective, that like Keisha was saying, we can definitely see it. I don't know what it looks like on y'all's
Yeah.
end for men.
We know y'all be changing when a woman come into the picture. Y'all ain't the same.
Y'all
Y'all
change. The
be
energy
trying to get in the,
changes.
first of all, men already jump into hero mode. Y'all be trying to just, stick your chest out just a little bit, especially if it's a woman that's attracted to where you think she just might be going with you.
Jerry, you know what? You know what? Charleston White said this. I don't know if you've seen this recently, Jerry, but Charleston White was like, he said, uh, it's a woman when a real woman walks into the room, a man could be acting one way, but when that woman walks into the room, he could be addressing women as, B's and H's and all kinds of stuff. But he said when a real woman walks into the room, the energy that she gives off, they will completely switch their energy to,
Of course, so
match
she
that
can
woman.
respect 100%. And they know they can't
Right, right.
do that. I mean, they even if they try, it's like no. So if it's a woman that they're interested in, of course, they're gonna come with a different type of energy. But if it's somebody that they don't
I'm
feel is
so
worthy of their respect, it's hit or miss.
right, right. And I want Jerry, can you give us some insight, if you will, on whether or not you think that that's fair? Like, should every woman, if she's just walking to a space, but one is just all naked, right, got little slinky outfits on, versus a woman walking in with a business suit, do you not feel like they deserve the same amount of respect, or is that just an issue of, um, I don't know. Just answer that part. Like the half
You
naked
could
chick versus the suited up chick. Shouldn't a man act the same? Give the
what
same
you
respect?
no, no, like
I'm sitting here waiting because I'm like, hey.
uh, no, no.
But why?
It's because you're advertising what? You're advertising respect, or you're advertising come get my number and you know try to get it. I'll just say I'm trying to be proper here. You're either advertising sex or you're to us. You're either advertising sex or you're advertising respect to you. So
It's
there's
interesting.
really no two ways about it. So let's say that's just how I feel about it. It doesn't matter that in all honesty, it doesn't matter that women believe you should respect me no matter what. Okay, but it doesn't matter because what you advertise is what you're gonna. That's what I'm going for.
All right.
So if you walk in wearing and tight fitting, beautifully cut to your body, but I can't see nothing. Like I can't. Like that's a whole. That makes me look at you a whole different way. Hair is tight, shoes is tight. Like you just the perfect picture there. I gotta respect that. So, and I'm gonna look at you different than the chick over there with everything hanging out.
So
Well,
let me
well, then
ask
I gotta go
you,
ahead, Keisha. I got a
I was just
question
sitting
too.
here thinking like, so let's just say could because like I've men talk about they want a woman basically in her natural state, right? You don't want the hair, you don't want the makeup, you don't want the extra, you don't want the clothes. Like see somebody just coming from the gym. Is it because she's more approachable? Because you feel like you don't have to go that extra mile to talk to that woman than somebody who may be all dressed up or maybe in a suit or like at a she may be dressed totally different and I'm asking you this because I know men are visuals.
Yeah, but again, the woman leaving the gym, if she's not, if she's carrying herself a certain way, shoulders back, head high, carrying her bag, leaving or whatever, you're still gonna respect that because she's showing discipline.
Mm.
She in there getting it, right? That's different than a chick in the club that got her, $20 Fashion Nova dress on and got everything hanging out. It's different.
Hey, Fashion
The
Nova got some
professional,
more
I
expensive
have no
stuff
idea
than
what that
go
story
ahead.
is. Okay.
that. I haven't gotten anything from there yet, but I have people
Yeah,
that get
I'm
stuff, and I've
sure you
seen
have
stuff,
it.
and it's a
No.
little costly. No, no, for real. They want this stuff for
So
like real curvy women, and I'm not. But they stuff be a little more.
and
But
that's
yeah,
the and
just
that's
shout
the
out to my Fashion Nova folks.
and that's the thing, and I don't mean to knock everything Fashion Nova does. I'm simply saying that you know what you're wearing, you know what you're advertising, regardless
Hmm.
of what the world has told you. In your spirit, you know what you're advertising. So, but you're only happy when the guy that you want to be interested is interested,
Of course.
right? Every other guy,
So,
how, why, blah, blah, blah. But I'm sorry, you advertising that
so
thing.
which guy is
I,
likely if a woman dresses like that, right? Which type of guy, the alpha, the beta, or the sigma, would be more likely to actually pull that type of woman who's walking in with barely nothing on versus the woman walking in with the suit?
Well, that's
Which
for the
one would
woman
be more
to answer
likely
because
to
they
pick?
all gonna try. It's gonna be the one that probably got the most money
mm,
because somebody dressed
No,
like
I'm
that
talking about
well,
just won't, they on another level.
no.
the beta might be intimidated by
Mm.
either one.
Ah, okay.
The Sigma, in my opinion, would look at the characteristics and watch her and see how she moves. In my
Okay.
opinion, how does she move through the room?
Mhm.
A real alpha, I think, would also watch how she moves through the room. What type of attention is she getting? Who's showing interest? Now the competition begins with that alpha, I would think.
Mm.
That's not me, like I said. So I can't speak to what some guy that, you know, in a club in that situation,
And you
that's
say
never
it used to
really
be you
been
though,
me.
which you used to be that way, so you understand that mindset though, right?
Yeah, but I think it's different levels and different environments. You know, I have so many different thoughts in my head of these different environments. So we're trying to
Mm.
focus on women in the club. That's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
We're focused on women in the club. That's how I that's how I would see it. The alpha would be like, I want that. Okay, I'm about to go make this happen. The sigma will sit back and be like, let's see how she moves. That would be more me. Who is she talking to? Who is she engaging with? Okay, watch her, and I'll approach when I'm at that moment that I think is the right time to approach. So I don't, me myself, I don't need the attention or the you know other people to look at me and go, oh, he's that guy, or he's. I don't require that.
So let me ask you a question. Which one do you think would wait for the woman to come approach them?
Mm.
Which one would wait for the woman to come
Yeah,
approach them?
yeah, yeah.
It's the Sigma.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah, because he's not gonna sit up there and
Really?
put himself out there like that. Not a Sigma gonna sit back and just wait because he already knows his value. He can sit there and just chill. And then
Exactly.
more than likely, depending on what type of woman it is, she will notice that because psychologically she'll think that this person is not attracted to her or wonder why and try to shoot her game because he's the one that's not approaching her.
So
But that's
I
his
was
interest
thinking, oh, say it again, Jerry.
because that's the one that she was actually interested in.
Exactly.
Right.
Mhm.
So I would think that as well, but it really, I think that it would be the alpha male that would just pretty much approach, and he's not paying as much of attention whether she wants him or not. He might not even be waiting on the eye contact. You know what I mean? And he's just like, okay, I'm gonna just go holler and see, right? I'm gonna just, But that's interesting that the Sigma would be more likely to sit back to me because I would think that he would at least just say, okay, I got to make sure I have eye contact with her. We have these connected glances. Okay, I'll make an
Well, I
advance.
think that would
You
be,
know,
yeah, I think that me personally, I think that that would be ideal to, because of course he's going to signal to let the woman know that he's interested, but not make the move.
Mhm.
that's so interesting
Or
to me.
I'm speaking as myself, or if I do make the move, things have lined up for me to go do it. Because
Okay,
for
yeah,
me,
I
So
can
you're
see
not going to
that.
feel like it's a competition.
there's plenty of fish in the sea.
Mm-hmm.
This,
Hmm.
if it don't work out, don't work out. I don't need, I want to say accolades, but that's not the right word. I don't need the praise of whatever to go do this. I don't have to
Yeah,
appear
you're
to
not
be.
getting that validation from that
I
person.
don't. I don't. Thank you. I don't need the validation. I don't need the validation of pulling her. I don't need the validation of the other men around me
High
wondering
fiving
who
you
I
because you
am.
didn't got her number and all that.
No, I mean separate from the woman. Just because the alpha male thing is the male thing is separate from the woman. It's us in our own packs moving how we move, right? And in your own pack, you have your own position. Now you got a whole bunch of packs in one place. If we're still talking about the club, right? So all of these different factors kick in. So you could be the biggest alpha male all you want in, you know, Biloxi, Mississippi, in the club, but then I don't know, what is it? NBA YoungBoy decides to stop in. You ain't the alpha male no more.
Mm,
Right.
You understand? Like, so that's what I'm
Well,
trying
allow
to
me
say.
to
I feel that.
Okay, well, allow me to say this. I think that it's funny because two things. One of the things is that when it comes to the that structure, right? The whole alpha, beta, sigma, that whole thing, the gamma, all of that, we get this based off of dogs or wolves like packs,
Wolves,
right?
yeah.
But when they did studies on that, they understood that when those studies were done, it was only done on wolves in captivity. From what they got, it was just based on them in a captive nature. But outside, or excuse me, actually within nature, they actually that's not the structure. So that leads actually to this other understanding within psychology where they say, the whole alpha, beta, sigma structure, all of that within human behavior is actually pseudoscience. It's actually false. It's not empirical evidence, right? But what people are seeing is that it's we just have this, just like what you were saying. That's why if somebody else walks in, it's going to be all about status at that point. It's more biology that kicks in as far as what's the term, y'all, when they, well, I'll just say this. Basically, the big guy, the one with the biggest with the biggest shine and the money and all of that, he will end up pulling because of
Agree.
what's the word I'm looking for? It's at the tip of my tongue, y'all, but it's a survival instinct. That's the stuff that kind of kicks in. It's like, or the woman that walks into the room. It's not about, oh, yeah, she's got the hips, it's the innate biology that comes out. Like, I'm going to want to breed with her. I'm going to want to sleep with her, as opposed to, the alpha, beta, sigma dynamic. Now, that is something that we can clearly see. We could put these things into, certain dynamics and say, okay, well, with this situation, this woman sees this about a man, and that therefore it helps her to feel like she'll have more stability with this guy, as opposed to, oh, but we see that, we do have that dynamic, like the guy in the club. And I'm like, dang, he really stands out. And then
Well,
he's
but
got these
let me
other
tell you
features I
how all
like.
women are attracted to guys like that, because now I'm gonna go back to what you said, right? You was talking about research. The only research that I've seen is on Lion King, right? And on Lion King, the movie,
Girl,
you had
look,
Mufasa,
let's talk about it.
and he was got ready to pass the torch because his brother knew that he was not the king, right? So he was trying to kill his brother so he could become the king. And even when that happened, the son still took over. So I'm talking about the movie because I didn't watch it several times, but it's like you have to think about it.
Love that movie.
A male position, it's like I don't think it's going to be given away. They have to take it. It has to be taken. That alpha male is going to be there until, like you said, you get another alpha male that walks in the room. Unless he's willing to outshine the man that's already in there, that's the alpha male. Then he's going to proceed and be that alpha male. And
then there's another good.
I don't think he has to show muscles. I don't even think that really goes into it. And I think it's more about confidence. I think it's more about the confidence that person has, because somebody could walk in the room. Go ahead, Jerry.
It ain't about muscles.
Yeah.
It ain't about sign. It's about, in my opinion, how you move and how women see other men respecting you. That shows. That shows. Um, Damn, he's somebody. So the whole alpha, sigma, beta, I kind of go back to what Essence was saying, that it's not really a true fit, because the way our society works is totally different from, a pack of wolves, etc. There are similarities, but at the same time it's different. Um, and that's how I would look at it. Like it's not exactly the same. So we put the labels, and then we look for the label, and then we're surprised when the label starts to tear away 5 years later within the
Let me say this
relationship.
real quick. Let me say this now, just from my experience, dating and whatnot, and talking to guys. Unless a man is happy with who he is, what he has, and how much money he makes, he's not happy with himself. And now you can call yourself an alpha male, but you're going to be intimidated by somebody else who walks in the room who has his stuff together.
Yes,
100%.
exactly. So I'm totally cool with who I am, where I'm at, what I got.
So you good.
I don't give a damn about how much this other dude makes, what he has, what his woman looks like. I could care less, because this goes back to what I was saying about maturity. Once you mature, hopefully you do, and you wake up to who and what you really are, you realize that all of that is nothing. In all honesty, I'll say this: there's the alpha in a group of gorillas. How does he get taken down? Eventually, the 2 sigmas or 3 sigmas or whatever jump him and take his crown.
That's
That's
terrible.
it. Like it's not a it's a facade. In my opinion, it's a facade, and you just got to realize who you are, how you move. The right woman is gonna see that, appreciate that, and rock with it. If she sees another dude with bigger stuff, whatever that is, and she goes for it, that wasn't the one for you.
Exactly.
I don't.
Yes.
That's all I can say to that.
Well, and this also goes the other way. As young ladies, as a teenager, of course, looking at the guy, especially if you had daddy issues, right? And I had daddy issues. So it goes both ways. When you are younger, in your teens versus your 20s, you might look at the guy that stands out a little bit more, depending on who you are, or depending on what floats your boat, or depending on what issues you have, depending on what perceptions you have of people and what you think. Like, for instance, I used to think that the thug guy the man in the baggy jeans, the man with, that talks a certain lingo like a thug. I used to think that that would make me feel safe being with him, right? There was a time when I thought bigger men would make me feel safe. So you connect that. So yeah, the guy that might stand out, who's the loudest, might, that so-called alpha might appeal to you as a woman, might appeal as a
Mhm.
woman, to a woman rather, to be that guy. That's what I want. My hormones are telling me go for that guy. But then as I mature, and by the age of 25, our brains are finally fully developed. I'm getting into my later 20s now. I'm realizing, okay, I don't need that. Why is this rapper 50 years old and still wearing baggy clothes? That no longer appeals to me. I need the guy that I'm going to see that's more in the
Mhm.
casual outfit, the suits, things of that nature. He's probably more of the Sigma man at this age range at this point. But maybe in my 20s, I always went for beta males because I was on my power, trip. You know what I mean? And I'm doing everything. I'm on top of the world. I got all the energy. I'm a 20-year-old boss. So I end up attracting more submissive guys,
Let me tell you
right?
this. I
And
feel like,
so it can change.
well, I think that what it sounds like, just listening to you guys, that the Sigma male really has just as much confidence as the alpha male. The only thing is that he seeks it from within as opposed to seeking it from his social circle. Because it
Yeah,
seems like
exactly.
seek that more so from the social circle. And it's like the beta males, they just happy to have a woman. I might be
Yeah.
right.
No, no, straight up. And then also there's this understanding that Sigma males have, any of these men can be independent, right? But there, like you said, there is a lack of emotional intelligence that can stretch across the board. And typically Sigmas have gotten to a space where I'm going to go within myself. I'm going to partake in any growth I think I need to partake in from what I've observed from myself, what I want in my life. Alpha males are just going to probably be a little bit more gung ho. Who knows? But at the end of the day, I think we cannot blanket everything, and I think we kind of oversimplify these things. We kind of throw people under the bus in some situations because we
Mhm.
might, like Jerry said, in a marriage, for instance, what it took to get that person. Now you have to have different tools, right? It might have been one tool that helps you to get the person, but now you're going to need these other skills in order to keep it going, and that can definitely change over time or with different life
Yeah.
events.
So
So
let me ask
yeah,
you this question. So which one do you think would be more suitable for relationships? The alpha, the beta, or the sigma? Or all three?
To me,
I'm asking you, Jerry. Yeah, yeah. Since you the male on the show, let's go on and ask you.
yeah, we need you to know.
well,
I mean,
I
what's up?
think I think if it depends on the woman, like
Mm,
really understanding. It's like if you want a man that submits to you, you gotta find a beta.
mm,
He's not, maybe he's got mommy issues. Like I don't know the psychology of that. I just know that maybe he doesn't want to battle. He's not willing to battle. He's not willing to stand up for himself. He's more willing to sit back and no big deal. Okay, okay. The problem with that, I guess I don't know if I would say a true beta or something, is that if things happen, violence occurs, what does he do? So
mm.
there's no leadership value, in my opinion. I'm not an expert in this, but where's the leadership value in a beta? So a sigma, we have leadership. I'm really assuming the title of sigma because that is truly what I feel myself as. So yeah, I have led. I'm on a team right now that the leadership has departed, and I'm now leading, and it just automatically happens. It just automatically happens. I go, look, we need to do this, this, this. And now, next thing you know, other people are like, oh, wow. Because I just been chilling, watching,
Mm.
learning, let everything go where it needs to go. And now I'm going to pick up the pieces. I'm already getting those new accolades, right? Again. So, how, how you, oh, I'm sorry. So, to the the alpha, I guess, in that relationship. What does the woman want? Okay, I want a leader. I want someone, but do you want someone that constantly desires or needs the attention and admiration of others, or
Mm.
just the
Right.
attention and admiration of you?
So which one
And
is that? The alpha male that needs the attention and admiration of others?
I think an immature alpha male.
Got it.
I almost kind of am starting to feel like the a mature alpha male is a sigma male. That's
Mm.
kind of what I'm in this conversation. I'm kind
Wait,
of
say that
coming to
again.
a mature alpha male
Immature meaning
becomes
somebody
a
who's
sigma.
so because I thought you were saying immature. So basically someone who has evolved. An alpha male who has evolved is a sigma male.
I
Yeah,
think
that sounds all
so.
right. I can see that.
So I think so. Because like we really don't care about what happens out there.
Yeah.
Like we literally don't care. I could spend 90 days by my damn self and be happy and be cool. Excuse me. Live in Costa Rica. I got
I
butt.
see
Living in
that.
Costa
Everybody's happy.
Rica.
Yeah, you're coming around. That joker look huge too.
So, so it's
He
just
had a crab
how
drop from his ceiling one time.
Mm-mm.
not from my ceiling, but
No,
from
for real.
upstairs to downstairs. Yeah,
Ooh.
it was during the migration. So anyway, I think that's a big part of it is where's the maturity level. You know, if you meet there's plenty of men that are powerful out there, but they want no power at home. They want their whole personal life to be driven by their woman. You know,
Mm.
so is the woman okay with that? Does the woman want that? Like, so you see him in this environment where he's all powerful and has the respect of everyone, but when you get home, you got to make all the decisions. You, the woman, have to make all the decisions about where the kids go to school, blah 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 blah, all this different stuff. Like he's just not present in that way.
So
So yeah,
allow me to
go
interject. Oh,
ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Well, just on that
No, go
note,
ahead.
that's a very important. That's why I'm going to just get it in a minute. Um, that is a very important thing that you bring up about because men can be one way at work. He's got to be the leader.
Yes.
And oftentimes I have heard women constantly that I've coached who have said he does nothing at home. He does not lead. I'm having to do everything. I'm waiting to sit back and see what he's going to do with the kids and say, see about, when things happen to the kids. He's
Mm.
not responding. He's like looking at me to handle everything. But when he's at work, he does everything. He's amazing at it. But I get the leftovers. Like I cannot tell you how many women I have coached, and that was a primary complaint. And I'm like, that's interesting because they are leaders. They were these alpha males. That's what they liked about them. In a sense, we're just going to use alpha because they seem to lead.
Wow.
They came at them. They made their interest known in the women. They ended up developing relationships. They
Yeah.
proposed to them. They got married. They had kids. And then you just sit and let me do everything now. But I do believe there are, well, straight up, it was other elements every single time. It was typically something that was going on with the women where they were kind of the alpha of the household and just kind of wanted the guy to step in when they wanted them to. And they just had bad communication issues. So the man would just step all the way back and not do anything so that they're not rejected. And so this brings me to another point
Wow.
on how sometimes I feel there's an alpha male who ends up looking like a beta male in the home for the sake of peace, but it's not bringing peace. But then he turns right around, and this other dynamic is, what is my position in the home?
Well,
And so
what I'm listening,
yeah.
what I hear you saying right there, and I might be wrong, but what I hear you saying is that this person, you're a leader at work, when you come home, doesn't want to do anything. It could be because the woman may be undervaluing him at the house, or maybe trying to tear him down. And Jerry, you can chime in on this too. But if you get home and you got somebody who's not trying to build you up, what are you going to go above and beyond for? So I think that if that woman looked at things a little bit differently and tried to approach that man, I don't know who you were coaching, but tried to approach the situation, she may see a different man at the house if she were a different woman.
I I want Jerry to respond to that, but I will say just in response to what you just said that every single time, that's where we had to go to that. We had to go to that every single time, and every time the woman said, "You know what? Oh, wow. Like you're right.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Go ahead. Yeah.
You had to go to what?
Oh, we had to go to where they had to observe their own behavior. They had to observe how they were acting towards their husbands. Were
Mm.
they allowing them to help? Were they cutting them off? Were they complaining the minute they were getting into the door and saying what they were doing wrong? So those things, caused them to just sit back and say, okay, I don't, I can't shine in this situation. It's a lack of, well, I'm just saying, and it was also a lack of reward. Well, and it was also a lack of
Nah.
reward.
You got to say, Jerry.
Okay, so
Yeah,
yeah,
please.
nah, like nah. If you can't, you just I wouldn't have that.
Have
Like
what?
that's just not nagging at
What?
me or tripping on me the moment I walk in the door, trying to control this. I'm there's just no way. There's just no way. So what I was speaking
No,
about was the guy that
side chick house. No, I was playing. Go ahead.
Right. It's time to go to the side chick.
You don't leave and go to your side chick house who ain't giving you all that negative energy as soon as you walk through the door. She gonna be happy to see you.
I
Right.
think my point is that it wouldn't have ever even got to we live together. It wouldn't have never got to we get married. Like it just never would have got
So
there. Like,
so
go
I
ahead.
asked them, so I would ask these women because it seems like that's the thing. The dynamics just seem to shift, especially once other family members are coming into the picture, they have kids, all these other dynamics start switching things up. And so the men are like, she wasn't like that at first. I used it like they had a reward. They felt reward from their wives in the beginning. And then all of a sudden it's like life start lifing. And then the women just sort of are like, well, no, it's like this. It doesn't, to me, in my opinion, there are always signs, but people don't recognize the signs because they're just so in love and that, they're Twitter painted, they're all in love and it's that new love. So they don't recognize those things. The man in the beginning probably liked her being, you know, dominant, in the beginning or something, leading, but then it tapered off. So I don't know. It depends on the man and the woman, how that dynamic shifts.
Mm.
I think I think I think that a woman that is strong is appreciated when you dealt with women that weren't strong. But
Mm.
is that woman matured and strong? Is she psychologically matured and strong to where she knows when to back?
I think
So that's a huge factor as a man. Look, go ahead.
no, I want you to finish. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Um, I think that's a huge factor, like that the man needs to be aware of. Is this something that I'm in awe of and it's awesome because she's controlling everything. I don't have to do anything or I don't have to think too much. But you have to understand that you're always giving up, you're always sacrificing something. So if you're sacrificing that control so that you can be lazy, that control that's there is going to smack you upside the head 3, 5, 10 years later. When you
Wow.
want to stand up for yourself, when you want to, um, you know, create something new, but you can't do it because this person is already in the ruts in the road of their brain. Therefore, and they're not willing to come out of it no matter how you try to talk it through, no matter how you
They're
try to
accustomed to
figure it
doing
out.
it.
I think that
That's what they do.
I think that a guy is only appreciative of an assertive woman or a strong woman like that when he's comfortable with who he is. Like I said, when he's comfortable with who he is, what he has, and how much money how much money he makes, then he'll appreciate a woman like that. Because as long as he has one of those three things that's out of alignment, and he's not happy with who he is, he's going to project that onto that strong woman because most of the time she's got her stuff together and she's doing her and doing what needs to be done, taking
Right.
care of her, taking care of him. And that guy is more than likely going to be intimidated by her if he does not have himself together.
Yeah, which
Two
again, all of
snaps in
this
a
goes
circle.
back to immaturity. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
She was just talking
Go
about
ahead.
snaps in a circle.
Uh, Sorry about that. I can see the quality is really blurry, but I I'll try to make it better for when we do this
No,
again.
no, you good.
Um, but I'm really trying to really state that the things that we're talking about, they're very broad, and
Mhm, of course.
maturity in these different situations is huge. And until we psychologically recognize our own demons, these are the things that you're going to get. You're going to be in the club, the unhealthy alpha male that can't help but try to get the attention, that needs the, I don't know if that's a wannabe alpha male or alpha male, I don't even know anymore. Like you require attention. To me, if you require attention as a man, I don't, I don't even relate to that.
Right.
So,
I
Jerry,
don't even,
I'm
mhm.
I'm gonna ask your question after Essence asks her question. Go ahead, Essence.
Well, is thank you, Keisha. Well, when it comes to, you said you can't relate to that. Now, to me, and tell me if I'm wrong, is there not a difference between just a man wanting to be appreciated, wanting to see that versus, needing that validation? Like, oh, I just need you to, to placate to me. Like, are you saying that there's a difference there? You get what I'm saying?
Now,
Like,
before
I
you
want
answer
to be
it, Jerry,
appreciated.
I might be. Let me see if I'm right on this. What I would think is that what you just explained is only when a man is in love with a woman. If he ain't loving that woman, that don't even matter to him. I might be, but so now you answer, Jerry.
No.
I'm just curious as to your thoughts on that.
Wait, I don't think I got the question. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
So I'm asking, is there a difference between a man wanting appreciation versus a man wanting validation? To be validated, like to
Sure.
like where I need that from a woman.
Sure. Okay, so from a woman, that's what I needed to understand. So yeah,
Okay.
from your woman, I don't want validation. I mean, I would, I want appreciation. Like appreciation is key. Like I said, I want to be where I'm appreciated, not where I'm tolerated.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Right.
So why would I, why would I want to be with someone? A healthy person shouldn't be in a relationship if you seek to be validated all the time. You're
Mm.
not healthy and you shouldn't
Hmm.
even be in a relationship. So
Right.
that's how I see that, I guess. Tisha.
Okay.
Yeah. So my question for you is that, all right. So
Okay.
for women, how would you what advice would you give women as far as navigating when they meet an alpha male versus a beta male versus a sigma male?
Know what you want seriously, not what society tells you want.
Mm.
Like, and what are you looking for? Like, one of the things I told my little sisters and nieces, cousins, like, when you when you're dating, it's called courting.
Mm.
And why is it called courting? Because when you're courting, you are receiving and providing evidence of who you are. Oh, and they are
Mm,
providing evidence of who they are. That's why you court. Then you have to make a judgment. You have to make a decision. It's really
mm,
that simple. So if you
Mm.
don't know what it is you truly desire, which the younger we are, the less we know how much we truly desire. In my opinion, like I said, unless you had in a previous episode, unless you had a healthy marriage of your parents that you watched and followed, if you did not have that, you are living based on theory and societal impressions from your
right.
environment, period. Otherwise, it takes time for you to figure out who you are, let alone what exactly it is you're looking for.
Absolutely.
However, we have children too early, which causes connections that should have been severed way earlier. And sometimes you can be in a long relationship and not have children, and it still gets severed because you're living on a theory. You're living theoretically.
It's a lot of people doing that right now.
Ooh, that's interesting. Well, thank you for that. We're gonna ready to wrap the show up. I know this has been an interesting topic, man. It was a lot of stuff that we discussed during this episode. But Essence, why don't you give us your final parting words on the alpha, beta, and sigma situation?
Well, honestly, when it comes to the three of those, I believe that we can't blanket it, to be honest. I do believe that at the end of the day, when I think of an alpha, I believe there's an alpha in every male. I believe there is a beta in every male. I
Mm,
believe there is a sigma in every male because the dynamics of life have brought us to each of these places. Even within women, there are areas where we must lead, there are areas where we submit, and there are areas where we also have to have an expression of independence as well. So I believe in insight. We see these three things in all of them. We didn't go to gamma, but basically in all of it, we see all those things in ourselves. So at the end of the day, we just can't blanket it, and that's my final take on that.
wow. Well, I'm gonna
Yeah.
say this that I feel like Jerry said, you just need to know yourself and know what you want and make sure that you're making the right decision and you're thinking about the perfect person who will complement you, male or female, and not just looking for someone who's just going to validate you. So ultimately, you just have to realize that you need to do some soul searching first. Make sure you know who you are before you try to involve somebody else in your mess, whether you alpha, beta, or sigma. Just make sure that you know yourself before you try to bring someone else into a situation that may not be beneficial to them. And then you end up breaking somebody's heart or leaving somebody in a situation that they don't want to be in. So, all right, you guys. Well, I'm going to say that this has been an amazing show, and I really appreciate you guys giving me your thoughts and your insights on this. And guys, I hope we helped you on these topics to try to help you on your quest to cracking that crazy girl code. And as always, we love hearing from our listeners. If you guys have any questions or topics or comments, anything that you'd like for us to discuss on future episodes, just make sure that you leave us a comment below or just drop us a message. And if you enjoyed today's show, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Well, thank you for tuning in. And until next time, peace.